What's going on, everybody? Your favorite lesbian wolf here. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about Apple and Facebook. You may be wondering, how are these two related other than being freaking huge? Well, according to Facebook Marketplace, you put a bunch of garbage on there and then people buy it. That's actually how I got my table and chairs, the whole dining room shebang. I got it from the Facebook Marketplace back when I lived in South Carolina, land of the swamp, home of the beach, kind of thing. So I decided I was going to get a couple electronics from Facebook Marketplace. So already we're in some dodgy territory, right? But I learned something fascinating, and I just wanted to share it with you guys today. So, as it turns out, there are a lot of bootleg electronics on the Facebook Marketplace. Depending on where you live, I didn't have a whole lot of it in South Carolina, but there were definitely some like homebrew kind of things. That's actually where I got this nice little DS cartridge. Pretend that it's in my hand and I'm holding it. It's something like 208 games in one or something like that. And they also sell it on Amazon. It's like about like $30 if you want to find it. Who really cares? Not many people play with the DS anymore. But I happen to have 5 DSs, so a little overpowered. But anyway, that's beside the point. One thing I would like to bring up is a very, very scummy practice that I think Facebook really needs to address when it comes to Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook obviously has a ton of problems. One of the biggest being, old people posting minion stuff. It's freaking disgusting and abhorrent, and I was very appalled when I saw my mother doing it, and also very disappointed. I let her know my disappointment pretty much immediately. But that aside, I found something pretty interesting, and in a very indirect way. Right? So I decided I was going to buy some of this bootleg electronic kind of thing because it looked pretty convincing, but that's not why I bought it. I bought it mostly to see how is it going to function, right? I want to see how this operates. I don't really care if it really works or not. It's like $55 for two, relatively high-end electronic products, but the bootleg version of those two. So I decided I was going to get this nice little bundle pack of an Apple Watch. Yeah, no, this thing is pretty much garbage. It's a nice little paperweight though, so yeah, just throw that on the ground. And then I also got some nice little AirPods. Now, when I tested these out, I was expecting them to be pretty much either barely functional or it works, but it doesn't work very well. And to my unsurprised being, that's exactly how it turned out. So I got this one gal. She was selling these two for about $55, and I was like, wow, that's a steal. If it weren't bootleg garbage. But that's why it's important to do a couple things whenever you're buying on Amazon Marketplace or even Facebook Marketplace. Mostly for Facebook Marketplace, I don't really notice as much of an issue on Amazon, but stuff happens. So, when it comes to this little piece of garbage that I got, first thing right off the bat, it was dead on arrival. Nothing a quick charge wouldn't fix, so I charged it up. And anytime you buy something that's been used or it doesn't come directly from the business, it comes through some sort of third party kind of thing, you got to be very wary because why are they selling it? And this applies to a lot of things. Like if some business is closing down and they're willing to sell the place, and then you're like, ooh, I want to rent out this place. Well, why are they selling it? That's a very important reason, because if they're just leaving because oh, we just found a better location or something like that, and we wanted to expand our name or something like that, that's probably a better bet than if they're all like, oh, we're leaving it because it's infested with roaches. This right here, after charging it, I pulled it out, and to my surprise, it actually pretty much directly paired to my phone. I didn't have to go to the Bluetooth settings or anything like that. It just, bam, connected right away. And it was super convenient, pretty oddly convenient. And this was a plus. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And then I put them in my ears, and I noticed it was very uncomfortable. And, well, I'm glad that I found this out because now I'm not really going to get the real deal because I know pretty much how uncomfortable it's going to be because of the general shape. So, now I don't have to waste $200. I just had to waste $55. But that's beside the point. The audio quality was like listening to me speaking through 7 masks into a garbage can and then using a cup to that garbage can and listening in to see to hear the echoes that come from it. Yeah, it was freaking super bad. Whenever I unpaired it and put it back in the case and just had the audio come out from my phone, it was a lot better. Unsurprisingly, I have Bluetooth headphones. I love them. They are just freaking awesome, and they were a great price and whatnot. I'm not going to sponsor anybody. Screw that noise. But yeah, these were really, really garbage. Convenient, but really garbage. It made it very unpleasant to listen to anything. And on top of that, it also had some white noise in the background. The whole time it was on. So even when I didn't have anything playing, it would have this really annoying droning noise, and I'm pretty sure it was mostly on the right side. And since it's imbalanced white noise, oh boy, I cannot describe to you how infuriating that is to listen to. And that on top of, tinnitus is pretty freaking bad. You can call it tinnitus. I don't freaking care. I'm not a doctor. I don't give a flying frick. Now this thing, fun fact, the charger basically is barely functional, and when I turn this on, it didn't really work. Now, since I got this for pretty darn cheap, I decided I was going to follow the instructions from the Chinese manual that came with it. It came with a QR code for a nice little app. So, I got that app, and I read some of the reviews because I noticed it was oddly low for the rating. It was a 2.6. And anytime I see something below a 4 or something like that, I get pretty wary. So I read the reviews and see what the feedback is to see, is it constructive or are they just saying, bad app, ooga booga, just this free thing had tons of ads in it, yeah, who cares? But that's not what their feedback was. They had a 5-star review, and it was a very biased review. You can probably guess it came from the business itself because, they're trying to boost their numbers in a very scummy freaking way. But I read some of them, and that's when I discovered the practice that the woman who sold me this was doing. I was wondering why it was so damn cheap. And turns out, and this is a common practice, I've heard it dozens of times before, and you've probably heard of it too, buying them in bulk for very, very cheap from a labor force, probably in China or something like that, right? You buy it in bulk, you bring it over, and then you resell it at twice the price, 5 times the price, to make a profit. I don't have to describe to you why this is a very, very, very scummy practice. I can't really be all too mad about it, though, because even though I inadvertently contributed to the problem, like a total freaking fool, I got this for a different reason. I didn't get it under the assumption that it was going to work. I got it under the assumption that it would not work, but I wanted to get a feel for the general product. And although this doesn't, speak true to the Apple whatever, it does give me a general feel. I don't like the band. I don't like the idea of a watch that feels like that. It just didn't feel right. I'm just fine with having a smartphone and then wearing a regular ass watch that I got from freaking Walmart for $16. It's a lot better and more reliable, and all I have to do is look down. So, what can we take away from this? Well, there's a very scummy practice going around on Facebook Marketplace, and it's not really going to change anytime soon. But there is a way to avoid it, or at least avoid supporting this. I'll be sure to leave a lovely little review, kind of calling out this horrible selling practice from this woman. I just don't understand why people can't work for their money. Their money has to work for them. Like, come on. You got passive income, right? You know, you brag about passive income, this, that, and the other. And then you become a freaking lazy, worthless sack of potatoes. How about that active stuff, you know? Freaking, I'm almost quoting iDubbbz unintentionally, but working for money is way better. It just better work ethic, and you're a better person overall if you want to work for your money. Because I make money, right? But it's not stuff that I work for, and I'm not proud of it. So that's why I'm trying to get a job. And I don't care if it's labor intensive or not. I want to work. I don't even need like really like supplemental income or anything like that. I just want to work because I need that work ethic. Because how else am I going to improve if I'm just a lazy, worthless sack of ass, right? So, what can we learn from this? I said that a while ago, and I forgot to actually follow up with what we can learn. What we can do is not support them. Now, if we're kind of confused, like maybe they are genuinely just selling something old that they're just trying to get rid of, and they don't want to just outright give it away for free. They want to make something off of it because they did pay good money for it. And that is totally reasonable, right? You know, I could sell my car and be all like, yeah, no, it works just fine. It's a great car, but I need something that's more practical for the stuff that I do. I like to do a lot of woodwork. I don't do it, but I'd like to. But unfortunately, it's very inconvenient to try and cram all this like lumber and stuff into such a small car, right? That kind of makes sense. So, Facebook Marketplace, when I got that dining room set, right? I didn't care if it was bootleg or not, and I wasn't really concerned about it because it wasn't like an electronic or anything that I would use like really too frequently. It was more for guests and whatnot. But when I did get it, it was simply because they wanted an upgrade and they just wanted to get rid of it, but they didn't want to like give it away for free. So, simple solution. Ask the seller, why is the price so low and why are you trying to get rid of it? Because, you know, this scummy practice, when I was reading through the review for the app that came with the smartwatch, even though it was a bootleg Chinese version or whatever, one of the people said, yeah, no, I bought this, I got this app with a bundled pack of Apple watches or something like that that were approximately $35 to $50 each. And so that made me think, oh, she was just trying to bundle it to make it seem like a better deal, even though it's very sketchy. By selling it for $55, she probably made upwards of maybe about $20 profit for pretty much no work. And there was also no limit on how many she would sell. So, what does that tell me? That tells me, since she is selling so many, she bought them in bulk, and they are going to be low quality pieces of garbage. That is another thing you can tell with a lot of these people. When they are selling stuff like this, are they selling in bulk? And why are they selling in bulk? Why do they have so many units? These are very important questions to ask the person. If those questions go unanswered, don't even bother. They're not worth your time or money. So, I hope you learned something out of this, or at least, you know, you had a fun laugh at my expense of spending $55 for a crappy piece of freaking garbage, wherever it went. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now, kiddos.